This is what happens when the tip is better than the shaft. Opening songs.
Yes, opening songs.
So today we're doing a combined rank 'em in a way where we both kind of more or less agreed on it. So we made one list between the two of us, and we're going over Metallica opening songs.
The tip is better than... Oh my god, I can't get over that. We were going to individually rank our favorite opening songs.
I realized it was more or less the same.
Yeah, there's literally one or two differences. I mean, I know we still did our own lists for Justice, even though they were pretty much the same.
But there was more to talk about.
There was, definitely. But with these, I think everything mostly speaks for itself. It's kind of obvious what's top tier and kind of obvious what is not as much.
Alright,
So we'll get into
going
it.
right into it.
Yeah.
At number 9 is Ain't My Bitch off of Load. Again, this isn't a bad song, but it's kind of like a mid-tier song off of Load. There's nothing special. It doesn't really... Well, it does kind of set the atmosphere of something completely different, but it doesn't really set the album off in a really good way. There's other songs on the album that are much better than Ain't My Bitch.
Yeah.
And,
It gets better from there for Load.
yeah, pretty much. It's just kind of like an okay average song, but for a band that has done some really good openers, it's just kind of meh.
Yeah. Sweet. At number 8, we have Frantic. Frantic is the opener for Saint Anger, and there's lots of people that have different opinions about Saint Anger. But I will say Frantic is one of the better songs, in my opinion, off Saint Anger. Like you said, it does set the tone, and it does set the tone for something pretty different.
Yeah.
And people are going to...
snare.
Yeah, something pretty snare. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that
Oh, yeah.
in depth in a few weeks, probably.
But it does immediately tell you what the album is going to be like.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what it really accentuated was it really what am I trying to say about this? Like it you can really tell that the vocals are going to be clean, but also that it's not. I think it still has some aggression to
raw.
It's pretty raw.
Yeah.
The whole album is pretty raw.
Yeah.
So it really sets the tone, and raw isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to dive more into this in the whole album review. Give it a good listen or two, and really experience it. But it's definitely raw. It's definitely different, but it's not as strong as a lot of other stuff. So
Yep.
that's where it stands.
At number 7 is That Was Just Your Life, the opening from Death Magnetic.
Woo.
Woo. This one really showed what was coming because it's pretty progressive. It starts off really slow and really builds up to the opening riff, which is actually a really good riff.
Yeah.
So it really works to just hit you with that riff, that style that's like, oh my god. Especially because Metallica hadn't done any sort of thrash in years. Hadn't done it since Justice.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like opening up and then bam, here it is. We're doing thrash metal again.
Yeah. It's like welcome back right after Frantic, actually.
Yeah,
just
plus
like we were
there's some
talking
really
about
good
where it's
solos in
different.
there to, let Kirk do something after Saint Anger.
Yeah. That Was Just Your Life is actually one of my more preferred tracks off Magnetic.
Yeah.
So it is good. It deserves to be above a couple other ones, but it's also just not as good as the other ones.
Yeah.
Above it at number 6 is Fuel, which is the opener to Reload. And I really like Fuel. I know you don't like Fuel as much.
Oh, I like Fuel. It just, it opened up this style to the album, and
yeah.
it just opened up the style of the album being the exact same as Load.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because, they were recorded at the exact same time.
Exactly. So it was kind of like...
I'm not saying I don't like Fuel. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, off of Reload.
Yeah. It set the tone for the album, and it set the tone as, this is just more off of Load. But at the same time, Fuel is probably one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite song, off of that whole recording session off of Load or Reload. So, yeah, I know.
It's top 3.
Fair. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for songs in general, I really like Fuel, and when I obviously was first starting to listen to Metallica, I didn't realize that Fuel was from an era that wasn't really as heavy as their 80s stuff. So to me, it really fit in. I didn't notice too much of a disparity. I think it could have been just at home in earlier albums. So I thought it was really strong.
Yep. Yeah. So at number 5 is Fight Fire with Fire from Ride the Lightning. Pretty much this one opens up acoustically and then rips into an incredibly fast thrash song, which is a style they would use a bit later for an opening track. But this one just really sets you up for an album that's going to be fast and just really good. Like, fast and just big.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was a nice little tease because since this was the opening of the second album, and Kill 'Em All was really, really fast from the start. Yeah. It was really raw and thrashy and all over the place. Yeah. So it was almost just like an acoustic opening to their second album, and fans were probably just like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then it kicks in, and it's just like, "Oh, you got me."
Yeah. It also did give a bit better, like a better produced sound than Kill 'Em All was, because Kill 'Em All was raw.
Yeah, it was. That's not
that was just the times.
Yeah, exactly. That was like 1980.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of Kill 'Em All, number 4 is Hit the Lights. Hit the Lights is an awesome opener. It's also an awesome live track, and it's a very good, exciting track. So it was really a really fun, exciting way to kick off the first album. I think it got people really amped, and it got people in the mood, and it got not that way. not that mood.
This song makes me frisky for just the tip.
Just the tip. The tip is just frisky.
Yeah.
But no, I think it was. This is technically the opening for Metallica in general.
Yeah. It was also the first song they ever wrote.
Exactly. Yeah. First song they ever wrote, first song they ever released, technically. Yeah. Pretty nifty, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And, I'll just say it again, I love it live.
Yeah.
It's so much.
Fucking great live.
So hype.
So, at number 3...
3!
We have Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman.
Off of Metallica, or the Black Album.
Yeah.
What hasn't been said about this song? It is literally the Metallica song.
Yeah.
It's the song that got you into metal. Don't lie. It's the song that got you into metal.
Stop lying. Stop trying to say, "Oh no, I listened to Master of Puppets first." It was Enter Sandman.
It was Enter Sandman. For all of us, it was Enter Sandman.
Yeah, you heard it on your generic rock station, or your buddy showed it to you in class, or you played it on Rock Band or something like that.
Yep, and it's overplayed, but it's overplayed for a reason.
Exactly.
It is a fantastic song. Like, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, exactly. We beat into the ground how good it is, and how you have to listen to it again and just really realize that it's not just the same old shit that you've heard 10,000 times. It's that popular for a reason.
Yes.
So I mean, we only ranked number 3, but that doesn't mean that it's not good. It's still probably the most important Metallica song ever.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And number 2, we have Blackened and Justice for All, and Blackened also had the acoustic start like we had it with Fight Fire to Fire.
Yeah. Well, that one was actually it was acoustic, but it was also reverse play backwards to give it a really weird style opening.
Yeah, it was really funky, but it's also very good, and it's another one that was that really got energetic and it really pumped you up. But it also set the tone for the album because it was energetic and fast, but it was also proggy.
Yes.
And obviously that's the story
really
of Justice.
Aggressive.
Yeah, it is too.
And
so
Justice is a really aggressive album.
Exactly, it's aggressive, but then it's also progressive. It's probably the best of both, and it's really probably the best album technically.
Yeah.
Like, well, at least one of the best albums.
Yeah, from a technical standpoint, yeah.
Yeah.
So at number 1 from Master of Puppets, Battery.
And we have to both talk about this one, even though we were kind of alternating up till now, because Battery is my favorite Metallica song.
Battery is, it's like top 3, top 4.
Fair.
But it's an absolutely amazing song. It's an amazing way to start off the album.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned with Fight Fire with Fire, how it had the acoustic opening going into a fast riff. Fight Fire with Fire kind of started it with Metallica, but Battery perfected it.
I would definitely agree.
Yeah.
Like, every part of the song is just perfect. And to set the tone for what is often, like 9 times out of 10, considered the best Metallica album.
Yeah.
and I mean, obviously, you know, you can kind of take any of these top few albums and say they're the best, but as far as starting off an album goes, Battery is probably the strongest.
Yeah, like this one was actually a pretty easy choice.
Yeah, I think when we both looked, this is the whole reason that we decided to do the list together, because we're just looking at the list. It's like, oh well, there's Battery, and that's at the top.
Oh look, there's Blackened. That one's gonna be second. Oh, Need Sandman at third.
Yep, exactly. Like this is a lot easier to do than say Closing Songs, which we might have to review more before doing.
Like,
but
I'm pretty sure probably one of the only changes would have been Fight, Fire, Fire, and Fuel may have been switched for yours.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much it. I mean, I would have had to listen and decide between maybe That Was Just Your Life and Frantic, but I think I would have had the same, to be honest, actually. But yeah, no, I think you can't really say much more. Battery is... It's kind of head and shoulders above the rest. I mean, I feel like it's all subjective, and Blackened or Sandman, Hit the Lights, those are all great songs, but Battery's perfect. Battery's perfect starting song.
It is absolutely great.
Yeah.
And Metallica does some really good opening songs.
Yeah, this list is stacked.
Yep.
But
well, there you have it.
Yeah, that was our top openers, which was kind of inspired by the end of that Black Album review. We may have done it just immediately right after. And we might have to look at the ending songs later on because they're not as strong and obvious. But we're going to do them.
Yeah!
Yeah!